Sacramento, we are so lucky to be a city packed with incredible local gems, and one of our absolute treasures is celebrating over 2 decades of theater right in the heart of Midtown. It's a place where you don't just watch a play, you get pulled into a story that stays with you long after the curtain call. Their current production, titled The Sound Inside, runs now through March 1st. Here with more details, our artistic director of Capitol Stage, we have Michael Stevenson, and their new managing director, Liz Gray. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Okay, so Michael, you've been with Capitol Stage since kind of its early days. We were talking a little bit about it, about 11 years now.
Yeah, I was a freelance actor and director there back when the theater was based in the Delta King, which is a paddle boat that outrageously has a theater in the middle of it, and a 99-seat theater in Old Sacramento. And people were like, boy, what are you doing? The kind of theater you're doing there, which we were focusing on, thought-provoking, conversation-starting theater, is never going to work there. Started in 2005, and then by 2012, we'd grown enough that we had to move to our new home, which is 2215 J Street, which had been an armory of all things. So,
wow.
Yeah, so that was a really, I think, a good transformation.
Yeah, and then to that, the word that's been used a lot, thought-provoking with Capitol Stage. What about this style makes it such a vital part of Sacramento's soul?
I would say it's one of the key civic rituals that's left to us. And when in this age of media expansion and just kind of coverage and thousands of channels available to you, which is kind of a one-way experience, in the theater you sit together as a group of people and experience the same play together. And that gestalt is really special. And it's, I would call it the marketplace. You go and discuss in the lobby and talk about the show for several days afterwards. And we focus on providing thought-provoking theater so that it can be addressing issues in the community and affecting your life.
Yeah, and let's talk about your most upcoming show, The Sound Inside.
Yeah.
What can people expect?
So Sound Inside is written by Adam Rapp. He's a wonderful author. He actually wrote a ton of stuff. He wrote The Looming Towers, if you saw that on television. I can't tell you a ton, but I can tell you it's a story of Bella Baird. She is a single professor of literature at Yale University. She's been there for 9 years, and she encounters this mysterious student, and his name is Christopher, and he's a brilliant and somewhat idiosyncratic person, and they that's all I can say.
That's all you can say without giving it away.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take it. That's why people need to come out and see the show.
Yeah.
And then, Liz, I understand that you have an American Sign Language interpreted performance of this show. Why is making theater accessible and welcoming to our entire community so important to this mission?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. You know, Michael was just talking about being able to gather in space together, and theater is the opportunity for empathy building, for being together in community. And so being able to provide opportunities for people to be in community together is particularly important to us at Cap Stage. So we're really grateful that this whole season we've been able to provide ASL performances for each of the productions that we have, and being able to, welcome more people into the theater, have folks feel like they belong in the space because they're able to actually be accessibly in space together is something that we take a lot of pride in.
I think that's amazing. I think it's important that people make sure their spaces are accessible, so that's fantastic that you do that at Capitol Stage. Michael, when you're choosing plays, what's the kind of special ingredient that makes you think this is a Capitol Stage story?
I look for things that I haven't heard before, new voices in playwrights, which is, there are so many playwrights out there, and they're wonderful playwrights out, but I'm really looking for that thing we haven't quite heard before. I'd like a piece like Viet Gone. It's this extraordinary story about Vietnamese refugees in America during the Vietnam War that was almost a musical, this crazy collage of stuff that brought an experience that you couldn't get anywhere else. We also have the extraordinary gift of a theater that's only 4 rows deep, no matter where you sit. So the style of acting and the connection to the audience is incredibly strong, and that creates a really unique place to hear these stories, and that's another critical part of it.
Yeah, I've been told that the storytelling at Capitol Stage is remarkable. Our own producer, Olu's seen one of your
that's
shows
so great.
and couldn't predict what the end was going to be and was pleasantly surprised with how the story unfolded. So the stories are definitely resonating with a lot of people.
Well, that's great. And we had a crazy season so far. We did the Lehman trilogy, which was the story of the Lehman brothers in America. They arrived here with nothing and built an empire, only to watch it all fall apart. And then we did a Eureka Day, which was about basically a community deciding whether they wanted to have vaccinations for their kids, and the kind of fracas that ensued, which was written before the pandemic, if you can believe it. It was written in 2019. So we're excited to have Jonathan Spector, the author, come speak at our gala on March 7th.
Okay, all the more reason for people to come out. And Liz, I have to ask, you moved across the country for this role that you're in. So what was it about Capital Stage connection to Sacramento that made you say, I need to be a part of this?
Yeah, I'm new to town, and so being able to bring these stories to life was a huge, huge part of why I moved. Storytelling in this particular moment is vital, and to be able to, tell stories out loud and together is really important. And stories that are, meant to be heard right now in the moment, that are modern, that are current, is extra special for us. So it was a really good opportunity to come and push theater forward.
Yeah, well, we're
So glad you did.
Yes, we're happy you're here in Capital Stage. Michael and Liz, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes, of course. And to our viewers, The Sound Inside runs now through March 1st. For more information, visit capstage.org.